can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's me, Niall. Delighted as always to be joined by Owen, and we're here in final prediction mode for this weekend's IBF and Ring Magazine World Cruiserweight title fight from Queensland, Australia, as the unbeaten sensation Joy Opetaia faces unheralded Italian Claudio Squeo in Queensland. The IBF Ring Magazine titles on the line. And yeah, Owen, we'll jump straight in. I hope you're well as always. Opetaia, clearly a talented fighter. Maybe a bit of an underwhelming opponent here, not to be too harsh for Claudio Squeo. But that being said, what is your final prediction for Opetaia and Squeo this Sunday?
Thank you for having me on, as always, mate. I think I'll go the complete opposite way to yourself, and I think it is a completely underwhelming opponent. I think Opetaia is going to be levels above him. I think it'll stop him in round 5, round 6. I think he'll just break him down and find the stoppage. I'm very underwhelmed by this fight. Getting a bit underwhelmed by Opetaia's, not career, but recent fights, and it's very disappointing not to see him in big fights at the moment, but hopefully he can dispose of the Italian fairly comfortably and then move on to the big names in the division.
Yeah, I have to echo everything you said there. To give my final prediction, it will be an Opetaia stoppage as well, I believe. How early, I don't know, maybe kind of mid to late, that kind of 6 to 8 round range. Scale from what I've seen of him. I have to say I didn't know much of him before he was announced as an opponent for Opetaia, but from what I've seen of him, bullishly strong. He's built like a tank. He has such a kind of an unbelievable physique. He's quite flat-footed though. He's technically decent enough. Carries power. Not that quick. Flat-footed and not defensively great. And there's nothing that he does better than Joy Opetaia at all. Joy Opetaia way too well-rounded in terms of footwork, hand speed, power, shot selection. Yeah, just everything. And it's a pity we can't go into more of an in-depth analysis on this one, but it is what it is. And to echo what you said, it's a dreadfully underwhelming opponent for Opetaia, and it's a team. It's becoming a team of his career. The Maris Breedis fights aside, obviously his resume is severely lacking for the reputation that he's building. And that has to change soon. It really does have to change soon. And kind of on that question, you know, do you think it needs to be a unification fight next for Joy Opetaia in the division? Kind of a double-ended question. How do you see him getting on if it is against the other champions? And if it's not a unification next, do you think Joy Opetaia needs to maybe move up to heavyweight?
Literally, that you shut the words out of my mouth. If for whatever reason the politics are stopping the Zerda Ramirez fight, or I think Badu Jack's got the WBC bout now. If for whatever reason there's politics stopping there being another cruiserweight undisputed or unified champion, get him up to heavyweight. He's too good to be fighting nobody's. No disrespect to Claudio Squeo, but the three names that you mentioned, Bradis, Joy Opetaia, and then obviously one of the Zerda Ramirez, way out of his league. It's got to be the Ramirez fight. I think that's the most intriguing one for me. He absolutely smashed through Billum Smith, and Billum Smith was calling through the Opetaia fight. Badu Jack back in as WBC champion, which is absolutely mind-boggling. He's got to be about 49 or something like that at this point. But no, seriously, I just think the Badu Jack fight, it doesn't appeal to me at all. I think that's an easy night's work for Opetaia. I really do. I think he'd blast through him in 3 or 4 rounds. I don't think that it'd be competitive or anything like that. So if these big fights aren't happening, get him up at heavyweight. We've seen the heavyweight division come back alive in recent years. Big fights, big names fighting each other. So those fights, for whatever reason, can't or won't happen. Give his bout up, let them do whatever with it, and move up.
Yeah, agree totally. We're definitely both on the same page there. I just think he cannot afford to waste any more time with the talent that he has. He's clearly a talented fighter. Like we're not hating on Joy Opetaia's talent, but you know he has to start getting the names to back that up, and it
Absolutely.
needs to be next. You know, it needs to be his next fight by the end of 2025. And if not, yeah, move up the heavyweight for the big names, the big money. But yeah, in terms of opponents at cruiserweight, I probably do think he beats them all, which is the annoying thing that we're not seeing it. Badu Jack, as you say, you know, he's past his best now. He did have a good win against McKellian, but he's just too old for Joy Opetaia, in my opinion. And Zurdo Ramirez, of course, you know, seems to be aging like wine himself in terms of performances that he's putting in recently. That Billum Smith performance, well, say what you want about Billum Smith, that was a career best performance from Zurdo.
Mhm.
Absolutely punch perfect.
Absolutely.
Destroyed him that night. And he could give Opetaia handfuls. I'm of that opinion that he could really cause Joy Opetaia big problems, but I'd have to kind of give the edge to Opetaia there on that one. Yeah, but if not, if they're not next, it's move up surely. Just another very quick one before we wrap up this. I'd be kind of remiss if I didn't ask you about a Beterbiev Bivol winner against Joy Opetaia. What's your thoughts on that? Would he beat both of them or?
Um, the Bivol one's so hard to call. I just think he might. Is he a better boxer than Bivol? No, absolutely not. Is he too big and too strong? Possibly. I don't think Bivol or Beterbiev are monsters at the weight. So when you're stepping up again, it's quite a big step up. I think Beterbiev at his age, putting the extra weight on to get up, I'd be backing Opetaia as much as I love Beterbiev. I backed him in both fights against Bivol. I just think he's again too big, too strong at that stage of his career. The Bivol one I really struggle with. Off the top of my head now, I think I'd back Opetaia just based off on an initial thought, size and strength, but I think that could definitely change the more I think into it.
Yeah, they're definitely both fascinating fights. I'd agree what you said though about Beterbiev. Definitely age and size with his injury record. I don't think it'd work out too well against Joy Opetaia, but they definitely be big money kind of super fights that he needs if he was to get them. But yeah, that's for another day. He has to get past Claudio Squeo first this weekend in Queensland. That was myself and Owen giving our final predictions for the IBF and Ring Magazine World Cruiserweight title fight. Yeah, Opetaia defending against the unbeaten Italian Claudio Squeo in front of a hometown crowd in Queensland, Australia. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with our prediction? Could Squeo spring what would be a massive upset? Let us know what you think. Please get involved down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing. And yeah, on until next time, take care.
Perfect, mate. Cheers.